Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Scoop and Debunk. I'm your content creator and host, Megan Zara Walsh. So, this is a show where we uncover personal journeys by exposing myths and misunderstandings related to a range of different topics, from health to beauty to all sorts of things. But today on our show, we'll be discussing the autism spectrum by placing direct centrality on those who are living with a form of it and the challenges they may face. So guys, we won't be concentrating on facts and figures. Instead, we're going to be focusing on more personal perspectives. So today, I'm going to be speaking with a very close friend of mine who's extraordinary, Thomas J. Barnett. Okay guys, so the thing about Thomas is he has Asperger's syndrome, which is a development disorder on the autism spectrum, along with dyspraxia, a neurological disorder that affects his handwriting. As well as that, he has attention deficit disorder, which affects his attention span and makes him, as he quotes to me, more liable to procrastinate when uninterested in a task. But first, let's check out what some of the British public perceive autism to be. What is autism?
Autism is a state that a person has, which makes them do not want to talk to anyone or be friend with anyone.
Autism, it is a mental, I don't know how to explain it. It's a mental thing.
Autism, we naturally listening the YouTubes and searching the YouTubes.
So it's searching YouTube.
Yeah, otherwise in Google also.
Autism, it's when someone they have problems and they can't concentrate and that.
Kind of disease for memory loss or something like that. It's caused in mostly student small kids.
Autism, I have no idea.
Autism?
Yeah.
Autism.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
no, autism is is it a symptom or a disease?
Autism?
Yeah.
Do you want an exact definition?
I don't know, it's when people, got bad behaviour and stuff. My brother got it, so.
Autism. Oh. I have never worked with them, but I know they have a problem.
Okay.
Autism, it's what I think it is, it's like a condition where, I don't know, you struggle to concentrate kind of thing. I don't know how to exactly put it.
I have seen some have got talent of singing. Even though they have the memory loss, they can sing very well.
So they have memory loss?
Not like a memory loss, like short-term memory.
Okay.
But they can sing very well.
Autism, something about being an author? Having the right to say that you've written a book if someone thinks that you haven't written the book, something like that.
It's a disability.
Same what you said.
No, I don't agree.
Oh, no, because it is. It's a mental thing. It's mentally, some people act different because they have autism.
Is it like when it's like a what's it called again? I'm trying to think of the word. Like a condition that everyone can't really sit down. It's like ADHD but worse.
And people with autism usually tend to be, they lack in some social skills, but they also are much more advanced than normal people.
No, Googling. It's from the top of your head. Okay, so here to shed some light on the topic is Thomas. So, Thomas is a very good friend of mine. We've been friends now for what? Almost a year?
7 months.
Well, he knows it precisely.
No, wait. This is the 7th plus December, October, November. Oh, 8 months.
No, October.
No.
Yeah. So,
10
basically,
months.
I want to
Let's
know...
just say a year. We've been friends a year.
Okay, yes, let's
We'll
say a
smudge
year.
the truth on this one occasion.
Okay.
This one occasion.
Right, back to the interview.
Oh, yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about the first time that you realised that you were autistic, or the first time you were diagnosed?
Certainly. Well, I found out at the age of about 8-ish that I'd been diagnosed when I was 5, but I guess I was too young to really understand, or I was just never told. Because I remember we were driving to my taekwondo class that I had at the time. This was before the 2008 bank crisis that caused the class to close down.
Okay.
Long story. We were driving there, and I was telling my mother about how I'd noticed all the other kids were starting to act weird, differently, because they were growing up while I wasn't, reaching my milestones, as it were. And then she told me about autism, and I didn't know what it was, and that's when she realised that I didn't know about it. So
Okay.
after that, I guess she might have gone to the library to get some books to read up about it, because she got very smart very quick
Okay. Did you find
about what autism was, and then she had to dumb it down a bit because I still wasn't quite grasping the more complex areas. So she just told me that I was special, which is, you know, a deviation of special needs that is under. So I went around telling everyone I was special. It made me feel pretty high and mighty. I didn't really know what it meant though till I went to secondary school in
Yeah.
year 7, where I was put into a special group to help me integrate into society and become another brick in the wall.
Okay.
Pink Floyd reference.
But to go back to, you said there that with the kids, you felt like they were growing up and you weren't. Can you explain a bit more in depth? Did you feel like you liked things that they didn't like, or?
What's the rating on this show? Because they started to get
It's the
pretty
internet, you can say whatever you
interested.
want.
They started to get pretty interested in the opposite sex.
Okay. And you just weren't interested?
Nah. Not
No.
at that, not at that
What were
age.
your interests and your
No,
obsessions?
I did have this cute little crush on this girl.
Before this, you discussed with me about when you were younger and when you started to feel like a little bit different. Can you tell me a little bit about that and when you discovered first that you had autism?
It was about that time, you know, just before puberty, but you still think girls have cuties.
Okay.
But I noticed that all the other kids started to change
Okay.
and act a bit different. And I was like, oh no, what's going on? Everyone's changing. What's wrong with them? But it wasn't until year 7 that I started to really know what it meant to be special, because I had to go to a certain class apart from the others, and my kooky behaviour, though cute when I was young, was starting to seem a bit unusual to the others.
And how did you feel at that time? Like, against all the other people, how did you feel?
Well, that time my life's kind of a whirlwind, really. I remember it, but I don't remember it. Like, I remember being there, but not in control of myself in a way. So I guess you could call it a drifting kind of feeling. Like, well, you have Group A, and I'm in Group B.
And what's Group B?
You can see Group A, and you can hear Group A, but you never feel part of Group A because you're Group B.
So do you feel like it was hard for you to establish relationships with people when you were younger?
Yeah, I guess. I was never really invited to birthday parties or... I actually remember at secondary school, everyone had their little clique, you know, like in Mean Girls?
Yes.
It was like a realistic Mean Girls, but British, so
Yeah.
better. And I remember we had this, when we got to year 10, and we were like the upper class, nice pun. So we had got to sit in the upstairs in the canteen, and everyone had sat there. I would sit by myself by the front door and wave to people as they came in.
And was that by choice?
Yeah,
By choice
yeah,
you did that?
And
Yeah.
then I had a little routine. I'd go sit with click A, click B, then I'd go downstairs, talk to the stair sitters.
We'll go back to so your younger days, and you know, kind of growing up, you told me that you were bullied and there was a lot of negativity against you. How did you
hated me.
how did you grow up to be
Maybe
the person you are today?
Well, it's going to sound a little strange, but I think my main support system was television. I
Okay,
watched
tell me a
lot
little bit
of
more.
fictional characters. I learned a lot from Thomas the Tank Engine when I was young, through the morals of his stories and his
Yes.
songs. I actually learned how to speak watching Thomas the Tank Engine.
And that's why you want to be a voiceover artist from...
It's one of the reasons.
Yes.
Because I'd watch that show and then I'd start to do my little stories with my train set, and I'd kind of go into Ringo Starr's voice.
Okay.
This was before I started watching American shows, and the accent just got all rumbled and all the different accents.
Because for me, when I met you first, I did not know that that was your real accent. I thought you were putting on an accent. It was actually in this space that we
I'm
met.
glad you bring this up, because I'm going to talk to the camera here. Last week I was in London, and then I got into a taxi at 2 in the morning on my way back from London. I talked to the taxi driver for like 2 minutes. He said I was the highlight of his night, but he spent the whole thing just thinking I was pulling his leg. So for some reason, every time I meet someone, they think that I'm not the real me.
Okay.
I've noticed I don't really get on with people my actual age. It's always either old people or the young people.
Excuse me, what am I?
I don't know, I've never asked your age. You never ask a lady's
I'm
age.
your age. You get on with all of us.
You're 24?
Yeah.
Huh.
So what do you say to people? So there's
I guess it's something I grew out of.
Yeah, so there's this sort of myth going around that people with autism are antisocial. What do you have to say for that?
Sorry, that was just really, really funny.
So what, do you have anything?
People with special needs aren't antisocial. They're more like, don't want to social in my case.
Yeah,
I'm
but you
perfect-
socialise with me
I know.
and the rest of us here.
I have no choice.
Right, okay, that's all right. Well, we'll focus a little bit more now
No, I'm kidding. You're a great person. Remember when we shared that B&B in France with the other two that we can't name for legal reasons?
Yeah, so
We
actually,
had to-
speaking of France, there is a little story that we have to share with people. That's all right.
Who's
so,
we? I'm the one telling this story.
Well, we went to France. This will just show you how Thomas thinks. Do you want to tell the story or will I?
I think I should say it. When you
Can
told
I
it the
say my side?
Oh no! When you said your side, you got a lot of facts wrong.
Okay, that's fine.
So the plane was going to take off in 5 minutes because it'd been delayed because there were these people that were delaying the plane by not arriving on time.
But can I add? So basically, we were all sitting on the plane. We were ready to take off, ready to go to France, and everyone was in their seats, seatbelts on
Some
them.
of them had arrived late.
No, he keeps saying I arrived late, but I didn't.
Oh, you and the other person we can't name for legal reasons.
Oh, don't pass no heed of him. Anyways,
That was
we
her.
were about to take off to go to France, and our tutor was sitting kind of on a window seat in the middle, looking down, and all he sees is Thomas walking under the plane, under the wing,
Really
going in the
fast.
back door.
Really fast, I'll point out. Saving
Yes.
grace.
And he was like, "What is going on?" And the flight
Because-
attendants were kind of confused. They were like, "What is wrong with you?" So tell them your explanation of why you got off the
I
front.
was in the middle of the plane and I had these sweets that you suck on to prevent air build up in your ears, and it was 5 minutes from takeoff. I didn't want to sit in my seat for 5 minutes because I really don't like sitting down for too long. So I figured, oh no, I'll just share these around before we take off. You don't know when the seatbelt sign's going to turn off. So I went to the front to work my way back. So
You decided to?
shared with classmate, a little bit behind me. I didn't see you on the plane, come to think of it.
But tell
And then
us.
then I went back to this other guy who we can't name for legal reasons, at the very back of the plane, who I'd stayed with the night before actually. And I heard the alarm, 2 minutes to take off. And I turned around to go back to my seat, but there were these two people arguing in another language. So I didn't know what they were arguing about, how long they were going to be arguing for, and I was like, I can't go through there. Those people will never move, and there's a language barrier. And I can't stand here.
So
I'll look
Thomas-
conspicuous. I know. The back door's open, and I've already got my ticket. Actually, I don't. It's on my seat. But they saw me come in, so I'll just go out the back, walk around, and just get back on the front. And what had happened was, I walked on all confident, like, all right, just got to pretend I do this all the time. Hey, how's it going? No, remember me? I just had to get off some air. You're doing a great job, by the way. Nice dress. I shouldn't have said that. Still, nice uniform. You look nice. I'm going back here now.
Yeah, so let's add
to
that
look more confident. I even waved to a classmate on the way in as I back to my seat, like, oh hey, how's it going? No, I just had to get off some air. Nervous flyer. Do we have a phalange? Is there a phalange? I didn't shout, of course. I was in my seat, and it was on the flight there actually that I found out about this, because I went to the first classmate who was Irish, which makes sense because I'm about to do his accent. He was like, oh Thomas, the lady came up to me. She was like, are you okay, man? And I had to be like, oh yeah, he's strange, but he's brilliant.
So his explanation for getting off the plane when the plane was about to take off was he needed some air. That's what he told them.
It was a
So
half
it is.
truth. A half truth.
It's funny. You are funny. We have great times together.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Some people only think that's all there is to me.
There's not.
I'm such a complex person.
You have a lot. You have a lot going for you. There's
I
a
know
lot
what it means
there.
to see someone naked.
Huh?
Well, yeah, think about it. Just seeing someone undressed isn't them naked. That's just their body. You only really see someone when they're naked, when they unload all their insecurities, dreams, ambitions, and when they fart in front of you.
Okay.
That is true nakedness.
We're probably running out of time, so I've just a couple
That's
more
okay.
questions I want you to
You
ask.
can fix this in post.
No, I do. I have a couple of questions I want you to ask. No, I can't fix it in
Wait,
post.
I ask or you ask?
No, I'll ask.
All right, you ask.
You have me all confused now.
I'm all confused too.
So,
Good thing we're on the
is
same
there
page.
anything that you could say to maybe some parents out there that have children with autism, that are kids now, and about them growing up and their journeys? Is there anything that you'd like to tell the people?
I think you'd be better off asking my mother about this. She did most of the raising.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of hard though, because autism's like snowflakes.
And it's completely different. Completely different. Everyone's story is different.
Autism is like snowflakes, you see, because there's no identical case between two people. You meet one person with autism, you've just met one. Like,
Yeah.
I meet one person with blonde hair, sweet. Blonde-haired person. This does not represent all blonde-haired
Yeah.
people. I mean, she's attractive, but I've met ugly blonde people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I just said that bit. I'm
Yes.
probably rambling.
Yeah, you're rambling. We want some information you can give to some parents about your journey.
Well, don't hit the kids. That's probably, I think I have to tell you that, actually. Well, that's pretty standard. Because just let them learn at their own pace. 50% sure they'll turn out fine.
Yes. Like yourself.
I'm early 20s.
Yeah, but you're motivated, you're determined, you
I mean,
have a goal that you're focusing
the
on.
average lifespan is about 80, so I'm like...
You're all good.
30% through life.
You're all
still
good.
Like 70% could go wrong.
So, one final question for you, Thomas.
We're back.
Is there anything that people say about autism that might get to you or might annoy you that you would rather people kind of stop?
What was that thing last year? It was towards the end of the year, I went to this house party with a friend, and they had a circle, which is when a club comes together to drink. But the local place was closed, so they came to my friend's house. I was with them for a bit, and I heard one of them arrived, and they said, "Oh, look, it's Captain Autism." And I knew he was neurotypical. So I was like going, "What?" But I brushed it off because I thought, it's just one of those little nickname things.
Yeah.
But then a few days later, I heard someone say, "Oh, gosh, you're so autistic." And that time I actually did put up a thing because I knew the guy who said it was right next to me and he knew about it. And I was kind of go, "Excuse me," my like deepest voice.
Yeah.
And afterwards I was like, right, this is becoming a thing. I got to stop this. I got to bring it to the people. So I made this big Facebook post saying, "Yo man, don't make autistic jokes. It ain't cool."
Other thing we actually haven't touched on is the fact that Thomas is very independent. You live on your own, don't you? Live on your own.
At uni, moving back.
You live at uni, you're doing all your bits and bobs.
Moving back in with my parents next week, actually.
Yeah, but can you tell the
economy.
people a little bit more about that? About you being, how independent you are, your achievements?
I cook my own food.
Not like
I
that,
put my
you know
own
what I mean.
clothes on. I don't need any transportational needs. I'm not a very confident driver, so I take the bus or I walk.
It's funny because everyone that we meet is fascinated by Thomas. Like the first time that I met Thomas, I did not know that was his real accent. I was like, is this guy pretending or something?
You know, this reminds me.
Don't point that stick at me.
It got your attention, didn't it?
Yes.
This reminds me, so back as an undergraduate, everyone in my class thought that the big surprise at the end of the year would be that this was all just an act, who I was, and it was going to be the basis of my dissertation, and it didn't help. It did not help that when I told them that I was doing method acting for my dissertation, because they all thought, and I was like, no, I'm doing it because I like method acting. I'm not doing it because this is an act. This is me, people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we know that is you, Thomas, anyways. But one final thing, because I think we're running out of time. Is there anything you would like to say to people out there that might not understand you and you might be able to give them information to help them understand you better?
Yeah, probably not. I've noticed that people tend to be closed-minded about things. They don't like what they don't understand, so they instantly try to destroy it. I would say to them, once something is known, it can't be unknown. So once you learn about something, you cannot fear it for being unknown, for it shall be known. So I guess, I don't know, knowledge is power or something. Read a Chinese cookie.
Right.
Watch Star Wars. Listen to Yoda. He's wise.
Right, well, I think that's all we have time for. Shout out to Thomas for coming on the show and speaking with us today. Hopefully...
Why would they shout at me?
Thomas, see? You can't win with this guy.
You can win. After dinner, maybe.
Right, well, we hope you've enjoyed today's show and that we've conveyed a sense of what autism can be like for those who live with it. Again, guys, it's vital to remember that autism covers a broad spectrum, and Thomas's story is just one of thousands. So everyone's story will be different. Likewise, please keep remembering that autism is part of people's identities. So let's all try to understand each other a little bit better, okay? So if you have any questions in relation to today's show, or you simply just want to get involved, don't hesitate to drop a little message to the email address provided in the information box. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and please tune in next time for more scooping and debunking. Bye!
Bye.